Hey everybody, welcome. Big crowd today. Infinity back on top. Yeah. Some days you make it first, some days you don't. Anyway, Philip, Larry, David, Dan, Mark, Arturo, Don, Cliff, Eric, Rob, Francois, Kenneth, Wade, Jan, Donald, Edward. Good to see everybody this morning, as usual. Looks like mostly the normal crowd. What is going on? Why is this thing not muted? There as well. Okay. Got my headphones muting it out. All right. And welcome to the show. If you want to chat with like all the people saying, hey, good morning, click the button over here, down here in the corner on the monster, and you can be a subscriber on the channel, which enables you to chat on the live stream while I'm live. If I'm no longer live, you have to leave a comment down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. You know, it pops up alerts like everywhere I am. Hey, Chris. And we have Termite Trading Lab coming up, the VIP meetup coming up next week on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I will be live from the studio, or not from the studio, but I'll be live from the hotel where we're doing the meetup on Thursday and Friday. And hopefully it'll go off. Last time we had a little glitch on the internet. Kimberly's here. Dun, 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 my favorite subscriber. My lovely bride, Kimberly. She's like, I'm not your bride, just your wife. And then she'll be like, that's not how I sound. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, what do we got cooking today? All sorts of stuff. We got married a long time ago. I'm not a bride. That's what you say. Anyway, GME right here. Look at this. We were popping, and if you look at the overnight data, look at this craziness. Look at this. Look at that pop. All in the pre-market here, or post-market, pre-market. Look at that ramp. Like, whoop, up there, and then right back down. What are we doing here? And did it over here, too. And if you go from that low to that high, are we going to hold it? Are we going to fold it? I don't know. When you ignore the after hours data, just go back to the regular trading hours. This looks set to take a big pop. It's like a nested, we're working on a nested pattern here. You go off of this little guy, that guy, open it up right here, sets us up to rally pretty strongly. It's a nested 1, 2, 1, 2. Could result in a big pop. It could. When you go to the log scale, we held that 618 really strongly right there. Really strongly right there. This can result in that right there. That'd be 133. 140-ish, round up. I think if it pops that high, it's going to get a little over enthusiastic. Could be as high as 200. That would be absolutely insane. And I'm not saying we're going there at all. I'm just the pattern's the pattern, all right? Doesn't matter what happens. Doesn't matter who says what. Doesn't matter anything. These patterns are cooking in the chart. It's set. I talked about it days ago. That it was set. I bought it back here on like whatever it was, the 15th when we first got down in here. Bought it down here. Bought my 44 calls. It might ramp up. I got 12 shares riding on it too. So anyway, I digress. It's set. The pattern's there. Now, what pattern is this? You might say, well, let's talk about it a second. Let's just pop down here. Look, when a stock makes a move down, like so. Then it retraces, like so. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter. And then we run a fib line like this, from the low to the high. When we do this move right here, this is the ideal move right here. Hold that 618. That is a powerful potential setup. Now, it doesn't matter if it's corrective. It doesn't matter if it's impulsive. All right, those are Elliott wave terms. Doesn't matter which one it is. because all of a sudden you set up this potential right here where you can use the 3-point tool, the 1, 2, the 3-point tool. The next likely move, doesn't matter, corrective or impulsive, will take us right up into this area right here. Once you have a first move and a second move, the third move generally will go right to here at a minimum, both corrective and impulsive. Now, if it's impulsive, it'll keep going. It'll reach these further fibs. So this is a key point right here. So this is the first move. Move number 1, second move. Move number 2. This is the third move. If it's corrective, it'll stop in this area. If it's impulsive, it'll keep trucking, probably stopping in this vicinity, maybe this vicinity. And then we get a 4 and a 5 if it's impulsive, if that's a new trend. If it's corrective, that's the end of the party, and we go down. Impulsive, we get a correction up here, and then we go higher from there still. Now, GME, probably not going higher from whatever high we get to. It's probably coming down here. So that's why shooting for that lower target right here, this first target. So, dun, 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 dun. When we go back up here and actually look at the price action, today's price action, this move up off that low, that move up, that's the first one. That move down, that's the second one. We got a little overhyped because it's kind of hyped up. This next move, potentially the third move, right to there. Move number 1, move number 2. This is move number 3. Right to there. All right, everybody clear? Everybody got it? Dun, 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 dun. Don't usually do this stuff in the morning show, but there you go. I think it's relevant and important today. Now, might be like, well, they're diluting and this, that, and the other, and they're doing an offering and, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No, the news doesn't matter. It's hard to decouple. It really is. Super hard to decouple from the news. Price patterns are the price patterns. All right. I'm ride or die in this until the pattern breaks. Right now, nothing's broken. All right. These are just little mini patterns inside the bigger pattern. They're fractal in nature. These big patterns are made up of the same pattern on a smaller time frame. All the same deal. See that right there? That one basically did the same pattern. Look, that move up, that retrace, even if it's corrective, probably going on up. And when we do that, dun, 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 look at that, right up near where it went last night. Dun, 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 dun. It went right up in that area. Right? Right up in that area. Because when we turn on the extended hours, look at that. Right in there. It's not magic, all right? Not magic. It's crazy though, right? Crazy. No, the 1 hour is just to show you the candles, because if I go to a daily, there's no after hours market. So there's no always use anything. I always use the time frame that shows me the pattern that I need to see. Whether that's, I was using 1 second charts the other day for something. 1 second, yeah, on Bitcoin even. 1 second charts on Bitcoin. That's a fast moving chart. So that's what we got cooking potentially right there on GME. And you don't have to trade it. Don't get FOMO. You can just sit on the sideline and watch everybody and be proud of people if they get it. And if they don't, no big deal, right? You don't have to get involved. Dun, 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 dun. You don't have to trade it. If you can get that in your mind, Like, just like, I'm not going after crazy stuff. Like I say it all the time, like biotechs, I don't care. I'm not getting after it. Like, that's just not something I'm trading. A lot of leverage things I don't trade. Some I do, some I don't. Just things I don't trade. Now, SPX here, tapped the target and paused yesterday. Tapped it and paused right there. Typically we would either get a consolidation sideways like that. We'd get a retrace back down before we popped up to the next fib. Or this is just a temporary hold and we just ramp right on up. That's typically what we do. Now, if we don't hold a bigger pullback, we're probably going on down. So caution, caution, caution right here. I don't know which path. We've already done the high probability path. That was the target. Next one up here, but it's only like 35% likely. And when we look at the ES, we got a 40-point candle. I have to jump down the time frame. Look at that. Look at that big. Whoo. Look at that baby. We were up here. We went down to here. That was 51 points right there. 51 points. That was pretty wild. On the jobs report. Now, what jobs report, JT? Well, let's do this part first. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell anything at all. No stocks, no options, no bonds, no forex, no futures, no cryptos, no treasuries, no stuff from gurus. All right, don't buy stuff from me. If you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor. That's not what I do. I'm not advising you to do anything except protect your own money. Now, the jobs report, the non-farm payrolls, as they call it, all came out today. And average hour earnings, non-farm change, had jobs adding. Dun, 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 dun. That's why we got the negative pullback, because strong jobs means they're not doing a rate cut next week. Weak jobs means that they'll probably do a rate cut, and that may be in July or possibly September, but it's not going to be right now, probably. So that's kind of why the knee-jerk reaction in the market, because this number right here pretty much said they're not going to cut rates. And then the unemployment rate at 4, ticking up slightly. So that's interesting, right? Like the jobs climb and the unemployment climbs. I don't know. It's indicative that they're not cutting rates. So. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Well, Roger had nothing to do with me coming onto the line. Anyway, Roger's Roger. If you know Roger Scott, he's just out there. He's kind of in a different segment of the same company I work for, different subsidiary, whatever you call it. Anyway, it's a big blur, and lots of us come and go as it is. So the company that I work for bought up Roger's company, and then bought up the company that I started working for, which was with Rob Booker. So anyway, dun, 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 dun. I guess technically I started working for this company because I started working for him after the buyout. So however it all works, I don't know. It gets confusing. I don't worry about all that stuff. I just worry about giving you guys good, honest content about the markets. So what's coming up next week? That was markets open. Dun, 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 dun. Coming up next week, we have the FOMC meeting. That's the big thing to watch out for. We may keep rallying right up into the FOMC. So we've got this. This is warning right here. CPI right here. That's an inflation read on Wednesday, right in front of the FOMC right here. And then Jerome Powell cannot not talk. He's got to do a speech right there. So Jerome Powell going to speak right there at 2:30. These are Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight, whatever, Eastern Time numbers right here. Because I'm in the Eastern Time, the market's in the Eastern Time. Anyway, there you go. So these are the big things to watch out for next week. And then we have PPI the next day right there. So as if the FOMC wasn't enough, we're going to get 2 days of inflation numbers right on top of the FOMC. So there you go. There you go. Be careful out there. All right. Those are the things to watch for the rest of the week, or going into next week, I guess you might say. And that one closed. That one closed. That one closed. Got hit on my IWM position. So I actually went long this right before I came on, expecting this to rally right back up. That's probably what it's going to do. That's probably a dip and rip. Because look at this. Moving arrows. Just delete the arrow. This right here. Looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4. Didn't overlap this. Probably going to get the 5th wave extension off the top here. This is what I was talking about a minute ago on GME. Get the move up. Get the 618. Right there. Same patterns all the time. These are all the same patterns I'm looking for all the time, right? You just never know exactly. Now look where we stopped. Look at that. Look at that. See that? Everybody see this, right? This is important. This first move up, that was move 1. This retrace right here, that's move 2. This choppy stuff, didn't matter. That right there, that's move number 3. Dun, 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 dun. Right in there. Now, would I have liked to see this push on up here? Yeah, kind of would have. But right now, we have a retrace. It's holding above this level over here. Up is the target until we break below this right down in here. So, as long as we're above 5,300, probably going higher. Simple as that sometimes. Now, you may be like, I don't know how you do this, JT. Well, that's why you come and watch me, right? Let's be honest. That's why you're here. The guy that can see it without hardly any effort, you just pay attention to that guy. So anyway, looks like we may go higher until we break below this zone right here. And that's why the zone's on the chart right here. That's why the zone's here. So that 5,300, that's the warning sign at this point. Otherwise, biased higher for now. The list was pretty dismal today. We'll get there in a second. NASDAQ, pop back up to the daily. I use the futures because the indexes don't have overnight data, so I just go to the source, if you will. And yesterday, more volatility. Probably going to do an extension. That's what that looks like. We're just winding up for an extension. Russell looks a lot more bearish and heading down to the roadmap line pretty quickly here. Cruising on down. Not far to go. Not far to go right there. And dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Yeah, I've never met Ross in Warrior Trading. Ross Cameron, never met him. And have met Mr. Sykes. I've met a variety of people over the years. Quite a wide variety. A lot of them completely full of crap, and I'd never do anything with them. Some people are cool and normal people, others not so cool. So this one right here, same pattern. Look, this is why it has my attention, kind of like that move up, that retrace, holding that 618 level. That can propel this higher right there. If we break down below that, coming down here, and the way this has been correcting off of there, a very, very likely scenario that we don't hold, but the pattern so far has it set. We may rally right back up to this 95 area in very short, quick order right here. If we break above this consolidation right here, which is where I've already got the orange drawn right there. So we break above that consolidation right here, pop right there. Anyway, right there. Everybody's got their niche, if you will, in the market. You know, mine, these trend pullback continuations, trend pullback continuation. Like this is my bread and butter. I've been building a whole indicator thing on it, in fact. And let me just pop something over here really quickly. Oh my gosh, man. Let's see if that'll, dang. I totally goofed that up. Let's see. Let's see if I can. Man, that's crazy. That's on 2 different screens. Let's see if I can do this here. Hold on one second. Let me. Just a minute. I'm trying to get something to pop up for you. I want to show you something cool. Working on. There we go. Right here. Check this out. So my breakout watch list thing. I've got a potential. These are 30-minute alerts. I've been working on this, and this is a summary of all those alerts that pop up every morning. And these are the ones that are fired off yesterday. I just have them in a web page for yesterday. So that one that's crossed out already worked out, and so these are the ones likely to go higher right here. So that's kind of cool. I'm working on this web page view kind of thing, if you will. So I GOLD, let's just erase this and go look at the GOLD that fired off late yesterday on a 30-minute chart. Oh, that's not the right GOLD. Barrick Mining right here. And we have to turn off extended hours back to regular hours. So what it did, went from, oh, wrong high. It's the higher high up here. Somewhere right in there. And the low somewhere right in here. Sometimes it's difficult to get it exactly right on the right high. I think it picked up that high. There. So I picked this up in the target right up here. Same pattern, same. Always looking for the same patterns. So pattern, the target right up in that zone right there. Now it retraced and it's like, ugh. But that retrace right there, holding that 618, still makes this move up likely until we break it. So anyway, that thing right there, 81% of the time, historic win rate right there, 81% of the time we've hit the target. So hey, don't count it out till it counts itself out. So even if it looks bad, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So right there, that's a retrace, better entry possibly, but target right up there on 18, probably like that. Let's see, it even tells you the target that it found. Yeah, 1809 is the target right there. All right, cool tool, huh? Cool tool. So that's all, it's fed by these alerts right here that I've been working on. And buy right there, 1809. Ciao. Cool stuff. That's what JT's working on in the background, building that all. And I built that all myself. Like there's no coding team. I am the coding team. I built this all. Like this is a website interface to the alerts, and it summarizes it. So now I have nerdy talk. You know, I have TradingView web hooked into a web server that keeps track of this stuff. It runs an SQL server that logs all these trades and then forwards it to Discord, and Discord does all the things Discord does for those of you that are seeing the alerts. And if you're in Echo Trades, you get the 1 hour alerts. And if you're in those 1 hour alerts, look like this right here. And the ones that have not worked out, you can see right there. So, anyway. All right, moving on. GC. That's a big fat retrace. Whew. And poking below the uptrend of lows is not too good. Not too good. Watch out for this right here. Watch out for that. Got a hold, like a poke doesn't matter. Well, one little poke, no big deal. If we get like a daily close down in here, watch out for this. Not too good. And it could do the normal pattern. The normal pattern being where we dip down, we retrace, hold, and then go down. That'd be a normal pattern. Dun, 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 dun. Bitcoin. Lee, man, it fired off so many alerts when it tried to break out this morning. This breakout right here fired off so many alerts. I didn't know how many Bitcoin charts I had that alert set on. It fired off a bunch, and then boop, right back down to the roadmap line. Ridiculous. So it's just churning a little bit right there. If we can break back higher, could push up to 72, 73. We get that breakout, and then 77 becomes highly likely. So if we break through 73,000 at this point, probably going to 77 in short order. That's the long and the short of it. And if we break down, could be kind of sucky and go back down. But this right here, that's the resistance. We're trying to break through it, trying to break through real hard. And just the fact that we've touched up there a couple times, probably indicative that we're going on up. But until we do it, till we confirm it, till we get continuation, it still can just be resistance, and we get further, a bigger, deeper retrace once again. Kind of suck, but that it's possible. Nothing's for sure. It's just a higher probability that we're going higher, but it can reject. Like, price can do whatever it wants to do. It doesn't have to follow the patterns at all. It's just that these patterns tend to work out more often than they don't. Show up over and over and over. Ethereum just consolidating, waiting for the spot ETFs. They got approved, but none of them are on the market. So it's just sitting, waiting, just sitting, waiting. More of that to continue. DXY. This is interesting. Look at that. I was wondering, like, it was just consolidating right under the roadmap line. This could be the roadmap line bounce right here. This could be the bounce. A lot of times we see it push just a little lower. I wondered, because we were holding, we weren't breaking back through. But now, if we break above that downtrend of highs, it's not a, trend lines are, that's just your first indication. We're probably going on up to that 108.50 area up there that I've been looking for a while. Could just be a longer consolidation, bounce off the roadmap line. I would set this right here as kind of the target area before we did another retrace and a potential pop up there. So looking for this to pop up in here. How long? It could take a couple weeks, 2, 3, could even take a couple months. I mean, this has all been going a lot slower than I really anticipated. Time is the hardest part of this. So this is March. This was April. This is June. Like, this correction took a long time. So this next move could take well out into like August, September before we got up there. If we're going to climb higher, could take a little while, and it'll be fraught with pops and pullbacks. That's for sure. So what's moving today? Breeze, BRZE, BRAZE. And, well, if we get below, down to that support, that's the same pattern. Move up, retrace. If we get below that, coming down, if we can bounce there, going up, the bounce looks like that move up, that retrace. It could go a little lower, but still not too shabby at this point. Probably sets us up for a move up in this area at this point. If, big if, we have to get above this area right here. Got to get above the roadmap line right there. ODD, oddity, looks like it wants to come lower despite it being on the popper list. That's a strong resistance going higher. Dun, 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 dun. GDXD, 3x inverse gold miners. So gold miners getting hit. This one pops and then it drops, and then this did a reverse split, 1 for 10. So that's a declining asset and a giant dumpster fire probably going down in a blaze of glory. Look at that downtrend. Like, why would you want to mess with this right here? Short-term opportunity, but dear gosh, man, it's your money. TMV, there's a 20-year Treasury 3X bear. That's popping today. Saw something yesterday about TLT. Let's see. And trying. Look at that trend line of lower highs right there. Look at that. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It was trying. Like somebody was like, it's breaking out above the trend line. Yeah, it hit the roadmap line, and watch out. That could have just been a roadmap line retest. We can get continuation lower, or it could break through and go higher, but it's not high probability either way at this point. Circling back to the one I was just talking about, whichever one it was, about the roadmap line, Breeze. Yeah, the Braze. Got to get above the roadmap line. If it just bounces off of it, it can still go lower. So that's what we have on TLT. Bounced off, we can still go lower. And that's kind of a three-way fashion that we moved up in there. So that could be complete. And the next move down takes us into this 786 area. Right in there. Lots of stuff on the chart. Decliners list was long because of the giant pullback in the pre-market. And NVIDIA leads the list. It's been, like I've talked about almost all week, Magnificent One. If it misses becoming the largest company in the land right now, with as far up as it's come, it's going to be so disappointing. I mean, look at this. We have climbed the ladder so far, so hard. If this does not take the top spot, I mean, what the heck is even going on here? Like this, drop back below Apple here today. But if we do not at least attempt to get up here for at least part of a day and claim the #1 stock spot right up there, I'm going to be disappointed in this. Now, if this pops right up there to the #1 stock spot, I don't expect it to be gold. Gold is the largest asset. Like, forget that one. If we pop up to the largest stock in the land, be careful. NVIDIA, it's like Icarus, wax wings, flying too close to the sun. It can go down in a blaze of glory, like flaming pile of goo. So be careful. But after coming all this way, I expect it to get the last little pop before we start dropping. Just seems like it needs to do it. ASML, nice pop, probably going on the extension. 1120-ish, 1118, 1115. MTN, wow. Look at that, man. Whew. Dang, Vail Mountain Resort's going to, like, that's like, I shorted that one in COVID, but look at that. We get below this zone, we could be coming on down to 100. Get much lower here. We could go on a lower low than what we had during COVID. That's the COVID low. We could get lower than that right over here. Crazy, huh? Craziness. I bought puts, rode those down. That was a beautiful trade during COVID. I had, was it three major? Yeah, I had three major things. Three major positions during COVID. One, I was long VIX. I did like a lot of trades to be long VIX. That was a 6-figure trade. Number two, I was short Brazil, EWZ. I was short that. I bought like 20-cent options and they went to $20 options. It was just absolutely ridiculous. Made 6 figures on that trade. And the third thing I did, anything that needed people to show up. It was like Uber, airlines, Disney, Vail, Mount Resort, all the things where people have to show up. I was short those with puts, and that was the third leg of how I made money during COVID. So, and I saw it all coming in the chart before, and then the narrative kind of picked up with the virus. And I was like, I know what to target. I was just targeting volatility at first, and then I picked up on more specific targets. SMCI looks like it's coming down. This one's not participating with NVIDIA. Remember this chart right here? We're probably doing this part before we do this part on SMCI. Consolidation before the retrace. Be careful. LPA now in the same pattern. Very quick on the consolidation and the drop coming back down very quickly. Probably coming back down in here in this area. GME will do it eventually. Like that'll be the bubble pattern on GME. It'll probably come back down eventually. PI probably coming back to the roadmap line. GME, like I said. See, look. It's already hyping. That's the target. Sezzle. Looks like it wants to come back to the roadmap line. 124 is the upside target. FNGU. That looks like the path up there. Target down here if we're going to roll, but it doesn't look like we're going to roll at this point. 3x leverage. Be careful on leverage. BMEA. Look at that. Ooh, man. I don't trade biotechs. Biotech, pharma, medtech. This is why. Look at that giant drop right there. Right there. Giant drop. So this was you remember, I've talked about this already today. 1, 2, 3. Look where it stopped. You see that, right? Same pattern all the time. That move up, that retrace, set it up for that. Right there. You see like this same proportion right there. It shows up all the time. You see that right there? That's number 1. That's number 2. This was number 3. And we stopped right there. And why don't I, why would I not go after that even further? Because look at this. And we're right back down to the bottom. Same pattern. Sherwin-Williams. And the pattern does it upside down too. So that was the first move down. Retrace. I would expect it to hit this zone right down in here. Almost got there. Not quite. NVDX. That's a leverage 2x on NVIDIA. Can keep climbing the ladder until the party's over. And then it's going to plummet. FSLR. That probably needs a retrace to push higher, but it can very well just push higher. 343, next target up. Probably GLD. Probably like I was talking about on gold. I planned on buying when this dipped below 210. We did a spike down back here a couple weeks ago. I didn't buy. We came up. I was like, well, I guess I missed it. Looks like we're coming back to give me my opportunity. 208 to 210 is where I expected this to find support. Right down in here. 208 to 210. And it looks like it's part of a bigger, deeper correction thing cooking here. That move down, that move up, that move down. Yep, right in there. Expect it to come right down in there. Nail is 3x on home builders and looks like it's coming down to, you see the same target right in there. GDXU may return back down a bit. LABU, 3x leverage. There's lots of leverage on here today. CRWD, kind of expect that one to retrace. Lulu, kind of expect that one to go a little deeper. Back down in here. And that's if we get below, like, we could hold that 786 level. We could. A little deep. Like, if we do hold it, break above the roadmap line, that's set to go up to 710. That's a huge, you know, that's like a double from where we are. Same pattern. It just went a little deeper than I like to see. I like to see it hold that 618. Going a little deeper, down to the 786, it gives it less awesomeness, if you will. So I'm always hunting for the ones that are ideal, because why put your money into something that's not ideal? There's so many opportunities in the market every day. SMTC, back down to the roadmap line. Beautiful. If it can get the extension here, that high, that low, break back above this level right here, 38, sets it up for 50 on the upside right there. USD, that could be done any point. Might touch that 150 area before it rolls. NVDU, leverage on NVIDIA. Be careful on leverage yet again. IoT, might be heading down. AGQ, might be heading down. ENPH, stuck at resistance. If we break down, can come down here. If we can break out, heading up here. Same pattern. Look. Same pattern. There was one. There's two. That's one. This is two. If we get up here, that's three. Right up to the target. I'm skeptical because of this right here. That's a downtrend of highs. Like, it's kind of shown that it's not very enthusiastic, and we came back almost to the bottom here. That warns me. So this is not a best of the best setup right now. It was kind of back here, but then it did this and kind of messed it up. So it might rally, but so if it breaks above this high right here, breaks above that high, it's an indication we're going on up here. That would be 175 at the minimum and possibly 208 at the optimistic-y kind of target. Possibly even higher. I mean, it is the possibility this turns bullish and goes up to 260 on the next move. But not feeling it at the moment. Just not feeling it. DocU right down to that. Finishing up that correction right there. Actually going to touch that 618 level. If we can hold it, sets up the bigger move at this point. Moves this over and sets, still sets the target right up there. That 70 area. FLUT. Same pattern upside down. Probably heading down here to 160-ish. 160, 170. UGL. Watch out for the retrace. This is indicative that gold may go a little lower than what I've been predicting on the gold chart, when the leverage stuff shows that it could go on an extension. And there is a entry on BRKB. Let's go look at that. 30 minutes. Beautiful. That's a nice setup right there. That high, that low, breaking above, sets it up right there. Beautiful. And it only has a 69% historical win rate. 418 is the target. Back into it. Nugget may retrace to the roadmap line. JNUG may retrace to the roadmap line. Reddit working on the breakouts. If it can get above these highs, it can get above that box right there. Possibly going up to this 90 area up here. If not, watch out for a move down in here. mRNA. That's got that high. Let me see that 618 right there. I can see these pretty clearly after doing this for so many years. That move down, that retrace right there can easily set us up for the extension right down in here, possibly to the roadmap line. Right there. IWM. It really wants to get down there. It has a gap down. 70% of the time this thing fills the gap. So it's got a gap and we may fill the gap, but bias is down for me on IWM right there. If we don't hold the roadmap line, we're going on down to probably 150, 130 at the minimum. CVNA looks like it wants to retrace. TMF consolidating under the roadmap line. 3X bull not breaking out, similar to the TLT and the other one, TMV. Just not looking bullish. ALB, Amble Marble bouncing off the roadmap line. That can result in an extension right down to my target zone, right around 85 to 90. NVDL, another leveraged NVIDIA, AEM. The list was long on the droppers today. AEM probably coming. These all look like they want to come back to the roadmap line. So we may see a bigger correction on gold or gold miners at the minimum. Dell, remember, gold miners aren't gold, just like Bitcoin miners aren't Bitcoin. Dell possibly going to come back to the roadmap line. Tesla, yeah, it's really, really consolidating here. Look at that tight range there. Very tight range. One little flush can set this thing up for a breakout. I want to see a dip and a rip. That's what I want to. That's really what I want to see. If it just pushes higher, that's less awesome. But if we can dip right into this 160 area and then pop, and it could take us out till earnings to do it, but it's going to be strong. SPXL, that indicates we're probably going to push on a higher just a little bit on the S&P. That's a leverage 3X bull on S&P. Be careful. Leverage VST probably coming back to the roadmap line. Maybe ARM. It's in the resistance zone, and actually, this resistance zone is actually a little fatter because of this consolidation back here. If we hold that next target down, same pattern, just upside down. If we can break above it, extension up to 184, but I don't think that's likely at the moment. It's just not very likely. DPST. Regional banks, there are some problems brewing in regional banks. Watch out for the bigger flush to a lower low than we had back here. VRT, looks like it wants to roll back to the roadmap line at some point. It's been since April a year ago. So over a year, this one's been hovering. Probably going to touch. CWB, almost there. That can be this is a leverage on China internet stocks. If we tap that right there, this could light this thing on fire. So watch out. The leverage stuff and China stuff doesn't always follow the patterns. I mean, it's two strikes against it, but it's indicative that maybe stuff like Baidu and BIDU, PDD, and Baba, it's AliExpress, Temu, and I can't remember what Baidu is. And watch out for those. They can go ripping off. And extended duration Treasury ETF turning down a little bit, not looking so strong. And ZS still consolidating under the roadmap line. That could be the bottom. That right there could be the bottom. Doesn't have to be. It could extend on down to the bottom of that box as long as we're under the roadmap line, not along. Right now, it's got to take a move above this 214 area to indicate we're going to 280 on ZS. And my bias for the day is pushing higher. So if I said anything that was helpful, beneficial, give me a like or a thumbs up on the video. And then we're going higher. Probably going to push up higher. So have a great day, everybody. I'll be in Discord. See you later. Bye for now. Remember, the account you save. Maybe